All right, Ryan Davis here, Stress Factory, Keep It Basement with Mike Sweeney, Tom Zappia. Ryan, thank you for letting us do this for a half hour and then actually start the interview. Thank you. Welcome back. You were here last year. Mike interviewed you last year. Yeah. I don't want to start here. Last year you had a Tuesday show, and now this year you got a full weekend. So something have had to happen there. I feel like in another year of progress in your career that you're doing 5 shows now instead of 1.
Yeah. The first year is a test year because I didn't come through the ranks like people used to. Before, you'd get a weekend because, you were known as a stand-up, or you did TV or something like that. You came from, you had a major agency representing you. But social media is different. Like, they don't give weekends right off the bat. You have to prove yourself. You have to prove you have to be able to sell tickets. And if you sell tickets well enough, then they'll say, some clubs will be like, I'll give you a weekend, especially if you killed on a one-nighter in their club before. But also on top of that, just selling out ain't enough. You can sell out, but if you don't do well on stage, the club still won't give you a weekend because they don't want the bad reviews. Like you can sell as much, alcohol and food and tickets you want to and make all that money, but if 300 people leave with a bad taste in their mouth, that's not return customers. So, being funny is definitely still the most important thing, but being able to move from one-nighters to weekends has a lot to do with your ability to sell tickets.
I like how you said being funny is still definitely the most important thing first.
Most important.
So I was at last year's show because I live nearby. I do stand-up, so I'm familiar with the club. I'm familiar with Derek and everybody, and it's a well-known club in the stand-up scene. But some comics don't do this club. Some comics do this club for different reasons. But I know a lot of the people who are to club owners who haven't been proven straight through stand-up, maybe have viral videos or big social media followings, have to go through a different rank, like do a Tuesday show first or something like what you just mentioned. So I knew that. I wanted just a little clarity because now you have a whole weekend. So like we know you're stand-up. You started doing stand-up first. Like you're stand-up 7 years strong, and we know that it's a grind. And obviously Instagram helps and social media helps. I mean, no shit in today's day and age, but like it's the combination of the two, and as long as you're funny first, you'll get proven with a weekend at a club like this.
Yeah, without social media, I'm a feature act. You know what I mean? Nobody would have gave me the shot to headline yet. Probably now I'd be a headliner in some of the clubs that I work the most because they would know. But to a place like Stress Factory or places that I didn't frequent as a feature, they wouldn't know what my capabilities were as a headliner. That's why it takes people. I mean, you do it the old way, it can take you 10, 15 years before they really give you a shot at being a touring headliner. Some people, it takes even longer than that. So that's why I looked at social media like, if I could because I have a lot of mentors that are like 20 years or more in the game. And I see the struggle that they have to be able to tour as headliners, even though they're beasts. And they were like, look, a lot of clubs looked them in the face and was like, look, you gotta be able to put butts in seats. That's really your biggest bargaining chip. So I focused on social media so I could get my following to a point where I could sell out shows. And then the whole plan was always to get people to see me do stand-up. I never wanted to be known as like this big social media star or something like that. I never cared about that. I was always comedy first. A lot of the thing with comedy, I want to be a legendary comic. I never really wanted to be famous or social media famous. The one had to be done in order for me to pursue the dream of what the actual thing is I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be on comedy's Mount Rushmore, and the fastest way to get there, to get the opportunities, is social media now. So
no reason comics shouldn't be putting all their stuff out on social media.
Social media is the outlet. How else are they going to see you? You know what I mean? How many TV shows do you see nowadays where it's a weekly show of them doing stand-up? So how are they going to see you? How are people going to see you? If not on social media, where? Are they going to see you on television? All right, let's say they see you on television. That means you got to live in L.A. Because if you don't live in L.A. or New York, how are they going to see you on television? You know what I mean? That's it. And if you really don't, and everybody, this is what people need to understand. Everybody doesn't want to be on television. Everybody doesn't want to do movies. There are some people who really love stand-up comedy and want to do that. And the outlets just aren't there to make you popular doing that. So that's why you take it to social media. You can even get popular posting your stand-up on social media. You know what I mean? Steve Trevino has a huge following, but he took his Netflix special and cut it into 5-minute sections, and that's 20 videos that he would put out, and they would go viral. So he built it that way. You know, there's many ways to do it, but it's all about being seen. What are the tools that you have to be seen? And if you're not making it in television and movies, like Tiffany Haddish was a stand-up, 17 to 20 years? She's been doing it a long time, like a long time. And people didn't gravitate toward her until she was in a blockbuster movie. So either be in a blockbuster movie or get on social media and build the following. That's really about your only two choices in television. That's it.
No, we know. I hear what you're saying. In terms of stand-up, I know towards the end of last year, I think after towards like Christmas time, you were on the rebooted Def Jam on HBO. So that's when I actually saw you on TV doing stand-up, and it was a reboot, but it was like, you know, Tony Rock hosting. You had so many great comics. You had some social media comics doing that show. But like that show, what did that mean for your stand-up career? Like you said, stand-up is first. That is like, now you had a TV, appearance on a show like that on HBO, and that's like, you know, your premiere comedy show. That's what Def Jam is. Like, what did that mean to you in terms of just being a stand-up?
Well, it was a big deal to me, more because it was HBO. To me, you know, comedy is a major part of my life. My first stand-up special was Chris Rock's Bring the Pain on HBO. When I was growing up, getting the HBO special was the biggest thing in the world. I know people have done specials on Comedy Central, Showtime, Netflix, and everything, but it's ingrained in me. When you do stand-up on HBO, it's a whole nother thing. And it was like a dream come true for me, man. It was almost like a bucket list item, man. It means a lot to me to be able to do it. And something as iconic as what Def Jam, you know, was, and the fact that it was, you know, it was the reboot, it was supposed to come back and do these major things again, man. And the fact that I was, you know, one of the chosen few to do it, to re-release it, you know, it was a big deal, man. I think it said, you know, that I was looked at as one of the better comics in the game at the time. And that meant a lot to me because I'm being recognized as a comic, not as a social media person. Because I got that opportunity off doing stand-up. They didn't look at my social media and following and was like, we got to get this guy on the show. I had to do a showcase with a lot of comics from everywhere. And I proved that I belonged on that stage in the showcase. That's why it was really important to me. HBO liked me. So that was huge. Yeah, that was big, man. That was a really big part of my career so far.
And I know you killed on that. That was all I had. Mike wants to just ask you like a few more. But yeah, I was really into that. That Def Jam I knew was like you just said, that's why you got on that show because being a stand-up, not because of, you know, social media. But all right, thanks, man.